Hey, so I wanted to share something, and admittedly, I'm going to be upfront. The whole reason I am sharing this is in the vain hopes that someone with more artistic talent than me ever gets like the idea to just see, ever just have it run across this video and get the idea to like just write a comic over it or animate it because it's so funny. And the funniest part is, I wasn't even treating it like it was funny in the dream, but when I woke up, I was like, "Good Lord, I dreamed that." Okay, so I want you to imagine this, if you will. Imagine like a Greek temple for like some god Zeus, something like that, but not like inside the temple, just kind of outside the temple. Not even the full outside, right? It's just like kind of like, you know how like a lot of Greek temples, like if you want a visual example thing, like in Paper Mario, the Origami King, where they kind of use that format for the Shangri Spa. You have to like get in some of the corners to access certain secrets on the outside. Okay, just like literally like a front left corner where like you got like the bottom stair on the bottom of the stairs ultimately leading to the temple entrance kind of on your right, and then in the back of it, it's kind of a wall that also acts as the foundation for the temple proper, but there's no real roof on this, so it's just kind of open air. All right, now a few weird key details. So on that stairwell, kind of where you're at on this whole outdoor section, right, is like a fireplace, and on top of the fireplace is kind of like a ledge, like you could put your feet on, and above that is a ledge that you could grab onto, so like you could kind of like, I don't know, like sit along it, like like kind of side climb it, I guess, like if you see in a lot of video games where people do that. But and if you want to get a rough idea for the height, I would say the exact height would be whatever Tom Hiddleston's height is if his hands were fully like stretched upwards. Yes, the odd specificity of that measurement will come into play. Uh, on the foundation wall, there is another little interior section. It's just a lone bedroom. There's no real door to it. It's just kind of like an open doorway shaped thing, but there's not actually an opening closing door. It's just like a single bed. That comes into play. All right, so this whole thing takes place on kind of like the visible part of that stairwell. If you're kind of like on that left front corner facing it, of course, the left front corner itself is that little bedroom, that fireplace. All right, so the main action is going in this kind of this, I guess, I don't know what you call it, but like the kind of the concrete area that's on the ground level. Guts from Berserk and Rumi, the rabbit chick from My Hero Academia, are fighting, and Rumi's one of our key antagonists. Yes, I'm aware. I think she's a hero in the series, but I know nothing about. I've not watched enough of Berserker or My Hero Academia to know, so I think my mind just filled in characters. And Guts is struggling, man. Like you'll know how bad he's struggling later. Like he does get a few good hits in, but he's like really having a hard time doing anything of substance. And MCU Loki specifically, there's where that height metric comes in. He realizes he just can't take these two on, right? Because we all know that if Loki from any variant of Marvel, even MCU, you know, the guy who pretty much grabbed and held the infinite multiverse at the end of Loki season 2, he couldn't take on these real threats like Guts and a random side character from My Hero Academia. It's just not happening, right? Yeah, so this is about how absurd he is. He is on this ledge, right? And he is trying to like kind of settle himself over. And mind you, there's nothing visually hiding him from these two. But he's trying to be sneaky because he would obviously be seen if he was just, you know, climbing the stairs. But obviously they can't see him if he's, you know, settling this wall that's like straight in their front of their faces to with no visual obstacles to hide them. Spoilers, it works. They never notice him or anything he's doing once during this entire ordeal. All right. Now, coming back to Guts, he's at his wits end. He's like, okay, I can't keep doing this. I need to call in an audible here. So he runs to that bedroom and wakes up Saitama. Yes, I think I would like to pretend that part of this hinges on my severe lack of knowledge of anything Berserk or My Hero Academia, but I don't think Guts is going to struggle at all with that particular character in any meaningful. If any experts on both franchises can correct me, feel free. But the point is, I don't think it gets so bad he needs to call in Saitama as backup. and yet somehow Loki cannot take on either of these two. So he calls him up, and Saitama's mad, right? Because he just got woken up from his nap, but obviously he's good friends with Guts. They've been friends for a long time. In case you haven't gathered, I'm pointing out the absurdity of all this. So Saitama, frustrated, throws a flip flop, like just like a cheapo $1 flip flop you'd get at Walmart or something. It's like yellow because of course Saitama, out that doorway, and it like grazes Ruby and like I think like the left or right side of her abdomen. It knocks off a good chunk, but honestly, she's still just tanking it like a champ. Yeah. Um, and Guts doesn't want to bother Saitama anymore. He's already bothered him enough, so he just, all right, I'm gonna have to go out there and finish this myself. So they get back to their fighting. Loki realizes that he's made a crucial mistake. Thor is still at the top of that stairwell. Now, thankfully, they haven't noticed him, but if he dare climbs down that stairwell, they might. So he has to get Thor down. Thor, who obviously also can't take all these two people. Guy who just tanked the force of a neutron star. He can't. He can't be seen by these two people. He won't take them. So he's got to sidle along, right in front of their faces, also perfectly not getting noticed. And while they're doing this, at the top of the stairwell, Guts and Rumi notice a number of people. If you've been paying attention, you can see why this is like particularly hilarious. They were probably no more than like 20 feet from where Thor was, because Thor was like kind of like at the what would be the columns that kind of lead to the temple's entrance at that point proper. So they're no more than 20 feet down that stairwell, and they look like just generic anime villains, right? Oh, by the way, Loki, Thor, perfectly right, live action. These guys, 2D anime. Rumi and Saitama, 2D anime. Guts is like his 3D version too. And I guess that's just because that's the most recent one I'd visualized at the time of that dream. They introduce themselves as the Sinister Five. Their leader, Male, asks one of their two female members present, hey, how many of us are there? Her answer is 7. His response is 7? There's supposed to be 9. And they're like, fine, we'll just deal with it as it is. And they go in and they start fighting Guts and Rumi. And naturally at this point, because now they have a common enemy, that was always going to be, apparently, I don't even know how they're connected at this point. The plot's getting lost on me. They have to put their differences aside to fight these like 7 ministers, members of the Sinister Five. Now I'm guessing the 9 was supposed to be a vanguard, because we cut to like Loki and Thor just stealthing their way out, and then we cut back, and now all 12 members of the Sinister Five are there, and that's where the dream comes off. But I'm like, this was so funny. I'm like, if I had like a modicum of artistic talent, I would so make this into a comic. Anyways, if someone like wants to, cool. You don't have to, but I'm like, this has to inspire someone. I hope it does. Anyways, you guys have a good one. God bless.